Hi everyone, I'm Professor Pride, and welcome to the Rainbow Book Nook. Today I wanted to share with you a children's book I wrote and illustrated called Shadow's First Pride Event. This book is the second installment in the Shadow's First series, so if you're interested in this one or any of my 37 LGBTQ books for children or adults, check out ProfessorPride.com or Amazon. Anyway, on to Shadow's First Pride Event. This book and the story it tells are dedicated to my amazing husband, Michael Martin Jr. Thanks to him, I get to live the happiest years of my life so far with someone who is beautiful in every possible way. I would also like to thank all of our amazing supporters who sent us fan art of Shadow since my first book, Shadow's First Christmas, was published. I would especially like to thank one of our fans named Luna, who named their pet after Shadow. This is the story of a puppy named Shadow and his first ever Pride event. Shadow is a 10-month-old Labrador Retriever puppy. He has a rainbow collar around his neck that holds a blue tag with his name printed on the front. He lives in a big apartment in New York City. He sleeps on a comfy pillow on the floor beside his owners, Alex and Troye. Every morning, Shadow wakes up to the sound of Alex or Troye pouring some food in his bowl. Shadow always races to the kitchen to eat his breakfast. After Shadow licks his breakfast bowl clean, Troye normally goes off to work. Alex grabs Shadow's leash to take him for a walk. Alex and Shadow normally go for a walk around Central Park. They say hello to all of the other puppies that live nearby. On this special day, Alex was wearing a rainbow-colored t-shirt, and Troye was wearing a shirt which had the word Pride written across the front. Today was the weekend, so Troye did not leave for work when Shadow was finished his breakfast. Instead, on this very special weekend, Alex and Troye packed a bag full of supplies. Shadow even saw them packing a few treats for him, so he knew today was going to be a great day. Shortly after breakfast, Troye connected a leash to Shadow's rainbow collar. They all walked out the door to get in the car. Shadow hopped up in the back seat like he always does. Alex rolled down the window so Shadow could stick his head out and feel the fresh air. They were driving for a long time, but Shadow did not mind. Shadow had his face out the window and loved feeling the wind across his fur. Suddenly, Alex pulled the car into a parking spot and Shadow jumped down onto the sidewalk. They walked for a few minutes before coming to a stop. Alex, Troye, and Shadow were waiting in line to get into some big event. When they got to the front of the line, Shadow looked over to see a German Shepherd dog standing with a policeman. The German Shepherd sniffed every bag while the policeman waved a metal stick across every person going in to make sure no bad guys got inside. Alex, Troye, and Shadow then walked past the policeman and his dog. Shadow looked forward and saw a huge crowd of people. Hundreds of people were wearing rainbows just like Alex and Troye. Alex bent down and looked Shadow directly in the eyes before telling Shadow, "Now, I know there are a lot of people here today. If you're a good puppy, we have some treats for you, okay?" Shadow nodded his head up and down as he thought about how good those treats were going to taste later. They walked into the first tent in a row of tents. This really nice lady wearing rainbows started talking about how easy it is for Alex and Troye to adopt a child. She then bent down and scratched Shadow behind his ears. She told them how nice it is for children to have pets in their families and how they would be a perfect family for their agency. The nice lady then handed Troye a paper with lots of words that Shadow did not know how to read. After saying thank you to the woman, Shadow and his owners started walking down the row of tents to every group of people. Each of them had someone that bent down and scratched Shadow behind his ears, or pet the fur on Shadow's back. Shadow was so happy that his tail kept wagging as fast as possible. A few hours went by and they visited most of the tents. Shadow's paws were getting tired from walking, and they were all getting hungry. So Troye went for food at one of the food trucks, while Alex led Shadow over to a nearby bench for them to rest. Alex put some water in a bowl for Shadow, while Troye came over to join them. Troye unhooked the leash from Shadow so he can enjoy his lunch. Troye then put another bowl full of chicken down on the ground. Shadow slurped up the water and gobbled up the chicken. As Shadow sat there waiting for his owners to eat their lunches too, he noticed a little girl off in the corner away from everyone else. She was wearing a pretty dress and a few buttons, but she was standing alone, crying. So Shadow raced over to her as fast as he could. "Shadow, come back!" Alex yelled. "Where are you going?" Troye yelled as they both jumped up and raced after Shadow. Shadow got to the little girl and she started petting him right away. Alex and Troye were not far behind when they too noticed the girl crying and all by herself. "Are you okay?" Troye asked her. "Not really," the girl replied. "I never thought there were this many people like me around this area." "We thought the same thing when we were your age," Troye said. "Do you mind us asking where your parents are? We can help you find them." "They are at home," the little girl said. "I came here by myself because my parents call me a boy all the time. It hurts me so bad because I am a girl. So I wanted to wear my dress here today and be myself for once." "Well, you are safe here," Alex told her. "My name is Alex, this is my husband Troye, and this is our puppy Shadow," Alex said as Shadow licked the girl's hand. Sadly, that is all the time we have today. If you want to hear the rest of the story or see the full illustrations, you can get the book now on ProfessorPride.com or Amazon. We'll leave a link to that in the description and the pinned comment down below. While you're there, be sure to get the full Shadow series and a Shadow plush toy so you and your loved ones can cuddle up next to Shadow while enjoying the many adventures of this adorable puppy. A very special thank you to all of you for joining me here today in the Rainbow Book Nook. And as always, much love and rainbows from yours truly, Professor Pride. Bye for now. Shadow chewed through his treat as... Shadow chewed through his... Shadow chewed through his... Shadow... Such a weird sentence.